Welcome back, everybody, to My Last Brain Cell. Happy Tuesday. Happy April, y'all. We have finally made it to the fourth month of the year, meaning quarter one is done. It's officially over. We are officially starting quarter two. So I hope you're making good on those goals of yours. We're going to jump right into it. Today, I got something a little bit crazy. I went to an exotic snack factory. Now, it really wasn't all that exotic. It just had a bunch of different random candies that you may or may not see in the store. But one thing I saw that really caught my eye was this Bonumi sour candy. And looking at this face, I'm really hoping it's as sour as it looks. So before we get too deep into the show, I'm going to go ahead and pop one of these bad boys. This is what it looks like. They smell really fruity, like strawberry, which I guess it is. That makes sense. There's a strawberry on the front. I only want one. Here we go. This is not that sour. Like, not even close. All this drool and that strawberry is doing, embellishment. I'll even do another one. I'm honestly low-key on the hunt for the most sour candy I can find. If y'all know where I can find me some nice sour candy, let me know. I'm trying to be pucker like. Yeah, let me know. Anyway, welcome back, y'all. So, I have a question of the day today, and I know it's been a while since I've had a question of the day, but today I have a question of the day. I've been rewatching a lot of American Dad because I saw that the newest season is coming out. So I was like, well, I'll just throw it on as like a background show. I watch when I'm working. I listen to it before I fall asleep and things like that. And it really got me thinking. Early on in the show, Stan was very proudly and loudly a Republican, like up until the John McCain era. So like probably around that had to be like 2008, right? But then there were a few seasons later where they had Obama in there as well, and Obama was still president. So that had to be like 2012-ish, right? And they really haven't gone too political since then. But my question to you guys is, do you think Stan Smith voted for Trump? Me personally, I don't think he did. He definitely didn't vote for Kamala either. And you know what? I can't say that because the Smiths do love them some Obama as well. Although Stan did put Obama's name in a book to never trust again because he gave him bad advice in a dream. From that dream, they seem to really love Obama. So I don't know. Maybe he did vote for Kamala, but I I doubt that he voted for Trump. If the thing is though, Stan is so American, he has to vote. Like I can't see him not voting either. So if anything, Stan probably wrote his own name on the ballot. He probably highlighted other and wrote his own name as opposed to Kamala and Trump. I'm telling you, he had to because I can't. Stan may be a lot of things, but he's not an idiot. Yeah, that's just what I feel. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Stan Smith, CIA agent, again, proudly Republican, do you think he voted for Obama? Or excuse me, for Trump? And actually, I bet he didn't vote for Obama either. Now thinking about it, like Obama was the president, so he was gonna obviously listen to the president, but I doubt he voted for Obama too. But I know he didn't vote for Trump. I just feel it in my bones. But anyway, that's my question today. How you guys doing though? You know what I mean? We're gonna move ahead. We're gonna go on and right on into this here Wheel of Fun. And depending on what the Wheel of Fun gives me, I'm gonna have some other stuff to yap about. So let's see what goes on here. That was a really good spin. Okay, what do we got? Gaming. Honestly, gaming's been crazy recently. Not crazy. So I've been playing a lot of Ghost of Yotei Legends. That's been hella fun. Hella fun. I'm loving the new mechanics. I like how they reworked some of the, we have the same four classes from the last game, but they reworked them a bit. I really enjoy it. I've been maining a Shinobi. For any of y'all out there on PlayStation who play Ghost of Yotei, make sure you add me. I'll put my PS in here. It's King Echo _. I really enjoyed Ghost of Yotei. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I beat all four incursions finally. So now my goal is to get everyone to rank 25 and then start hitting the gold incursions and inevitably do platinum. Getting ready for the raids coming up, so that's gonna be exciting. It looks like the raids drop this weekend. I don't know when I'm gonna hit the raids, but I am looking forward to hitting them. What else I've been playing? I finally, for the first time in years, PlayStation remastered Dead Space, and I played Dead Space over 16 years ago, probably at this point, on the Xbox. No, it wouldn't be 16. I didn't have an Xbox in 2010. I didn't get an Xbox 360 until 2012, because that would have been the same year that Amazing Spider-Man came out, like the first one, and the game came out with it. And I remember fighting the lizard in that game, and I had Netflix and all those things, so I had someone who I knew, he owned Dead Space and he let me borrow it, and I played that game and I was obsessed with it. I never beat it because I put myself in a choke point, basically. Like, I saved at a part where I should just took the L and double back because I had no health, no ammo, no nothing. I was powerless. Yeah. I did myself a disservice, but PlayStation has remastered it, or has a remastered version for the 5. So I started playing that a little bit, and I forgot just how, let's be honest, how scary that game is. You want to talk about a horror game? Holy shit. From the sounds to just the monster designs themselves, the fact that you don't have a real gun. For those of you who have never played Dead Space, your primary weapon, at least in the beginning, and I don't remember if you get any other weapons because it has been well over a decade since I've played, but you have a weapon called a plasma cutter, and the plasma cutter has a vertical and a horizontal setting, right? And the reason being is because it's meant to cut the limbs off the enemies that you face. The enemies that you face are these mutated aliens, mutated human beings that now look like aliens, that have long, like 2 feet spikes coming out of each hand. Their hands are up like this. They got spikes coming out of them, right? And their torsos look a little bit more elongated, and they can bite you and stab you and all these things. So you have to use the plasma cutter to either cut their legs off, which then just slows their movement, or cut their arms off, right? So I opt to usually cut their legs off and then try to cut the arms and then go for a melee. Because aiming for their head does nothing. They still move even without a head. They are terrifying, and they're fast too, and they can gang up on you. And right now, this game doesn't have a dodge feature. Like a lot of games I play, you're able to roll out the way. God of War, Ghost of Yotei, you know what I mean? You can roll out the way to avoid damage. I just gotta move quick. They have a stasis ability where you can freeze the enemies, but that's limited too. Your ammo is limited, your stasis is limited, your health is limited, and the monsters are terrifying. It's a great game, phenomenal. If you've never played Dead Space and you have access to a PlayStation or an Xbox, highly recommend. Highly recommend. Yeah, I've also been playing just for shits and gigs because I was looking for something that's a little bit like lighter and easier to play, and I don't want to hop on Yotei. I beat Baldur's Gate a while ago, and I started a second campaign, but as excited as I am to tackle it, I know I have to like sit down and get like locked in on some Baldur's Gate. My nights are like I have a couple of hours here and there, right? And like, after work, and my weekends I'm primarily with my lady. So if I'm gonna play Baldur's Gate, I don't need 2-3 hours. I need 6 to 8 hours to play Baldur's Gate, so I can sit down and like make choices, make sure I have enough time to double back and die, because which is inevitable. You know what I mean? And do all types of things and figure it out. Because although this is my second playthrough, it has been some time since I played the earlier parts of the game. Because I bought Baldur's Gate a few months after it came out because I was so obsessed with the idea of playing Dungeons and Dragons or something Dungeons and Dragons like. So I bought this game way back in 2023. So a lot of the beginning is it feels brand new to me because it's unrecognizable. Like later parts of Act 2 and all of Act 3 are pretty fresh in my head. But the majority of Act 1, especially early Act 1, like anything that's not the Goblin Camp or like the key events, I don't remember. But I do want to try to get certain people on my side. I just have to make sure I use the right language, use the right people, and figure that out. So yeah, I need time to play Baldur's Gate. But Ghost of Yotei I can play whenever. But the game I got, I forgot what I was saying. The game I got is actually, well, I should say downloaded. I downloaded the Lego Avengers game. It's pretty fun. It's kind of annoying too, but it's pretty fun. So one thing I think I've realized is since they've seemingly shut down the servers for that game, there's a lot of things that you don't have access to. And I think part of that might have been like a tutorial, because a lot of this game does feel like you have to kind of just figure it out or kind of just know what you're doing. They didn't really walk me through anything. I was just pressing buttons, hoping for the best, you know. But it is a lot of fun. The cover has Ultron on it, so I thought it was gonna be Age of Ultron. And when the game opened, it opened like it was Age of Ultron, like the very first scene. But then it switched to Avengers 1, so it's not going in any chronological order, but it's been a lot of fun either way. I'm now in the midst of the Battle of New York in Lego Avengers. Uh, Hope just joined us. We finally killed the big it's following events in the movie pretty faithfully though, which is cool. So we just killed the one big Leviathan beast. Me and Hulk, or me as Hulk, me and Thor did, and I think now I also had Hulk beat up Loki. So I think I'm pretty close to finishing the first like Avengers movie before we go back to Age of Ultron. But I'm just not sure why we even started with Age of Ultron and then went to Avengers 1. But that's besides the point. It's been a lot of fun. So I have a lot of games that I've been just super occupied with. And I still have games on my PlayStation that I can play. I still have Warhammer 2, which is barely touched, which can serve as my shooter. I started playing, I tried it and immediately deleted the Seven Deadly Sins game. It was cool. It just felt like Genshin Impact, and I knew that I wasn't gonna really enjoy it, so I deleted it. But yeah, Warhammer 2 I still have in my PlayStation. Like there's a lot of games out there. My friend just downloaded Crimson Desert. I'm still not sold on it. I'm content with Ghost of Yotei, to be honest with you. And like I said, there's a bunch of games I have on my PlayStation that are still untouched and untapped. So I'm content. But yeah, so here we are in April, which means spring is so close. It's here, but it's also so close because I'm in Buffalo, so it's not really here. We're in like post winter, not necessarily spring. We're in post winter, but the spring anime season has started. So I haven't watched really anything from this season, like except for the first episode of One Piece, and Demons of the Shadow Realm. So that one was very high on my list because Fullmetal Alchemist is my favorite anime of all time. Like of all the shows I've watched, it still remains number one. I love it. I have a tattoo of an alchemy circle on here. I have a couple of Edward Funko Pops. Like I really enjoy Fullmetal Alchemist. As a power set, everything, just as a story, everything about that shit is just phenomenal to me. So Demons of the Shadow Realm, for those of you who don't know, is written by the same mangaka that wrote from an alchemist. So we know her mind just works wonders. So I'm very excited to see. So I'm not reading this one, and I probably won't read it just because I want the anime to stay as fresh as possible. But depending on how much I like season one, will probably determine if I go and find a way to read it. Episode one was very interesting and left me with so many more questions than answers. Like I want to understand the power system. I want to understand who's right and who's wrong. I want to understand who's the real protagonist and who is the real antagonist. Who are we fighting against for real? For real. There's a lot going on, man. The character designs are neat though, and the power system is pretty cool. But I want to understand more about it. But I'm very excited to see where that goes. For those of you who were fans, Fire Force the anime has officially ended as of Friday that just passed. And I kind of hope we do see Soul Eater make a comeback. That would be super phenomenal. That would be so cool to see Soul Eater make a comeback with fresh animation. I never read Soul Eater, but from what I understand, it deviated from the manga spectacularly. So to have a manga accurate, canon accurate Soul Eater, I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd be a fun watch. I think it'd be the talk of the town. I think it would dominate as far as action goes too, but what do I know? I'm not an animator. I'm just a guy who consumes all this stuff. But yeah, One Piece is shaping up to do what it's gonna do because it's One Piece. I haven't watched anything else. I'm really looking forward to Doctor Stone. My girlfriend and I think she wants me to watch that Witch Hat Altair, so we'll probably catch that together. I picked back up Digimon Beat Break mainly and only actually because I want to see the ultimate evolutions. I deserve to see these ultimate Digivolutions. I did not like Geckomon's champion form. I did like Karopamon's champion form, like the metal bat knight joint. I really enjoyed that, but I didn't like Geckomon, so I'm hoping I like their metal form a little bit more. But I just skipped a bunch of episodes. I don't care about this story. My friends and I were talking about it. This season started off looking like it was going to be very, very dark. But in the MC, it was just a whiny punk bitch. And I couldn't take it anymore. And then it seemed too kiddie again. I wish Digimon, like I feel the darkest storyline we've had I've watched. Let's preface that. The darkest storyline that we've had that I've watched probably has to be the one Frontier, where the kids become the Digimon themselves. Yeah, I think that's probably the darkest storyline. And maybe the season right before that with Guilmon, I don't know what that one was called. Maybe that one, but those two I think are the darkest seasons. And I was hoping this one would be too. It really isn't. It's disappointing. But yeah, y'all. That's all I got. I do want to announce something. Going forward, every Thursday, we will have something called Spoken Word Thursday. What does that mean? What does that look like? Those are both excellent questions. So to start, I have a friend who writes poems, and I am subscribed to her Substack. And she also happens to what's what I'm looking for, support my content. She reshares any chance she gets. So I wanted to pay it forward by reading some of her poems on here. So every Thursday episode, before we get into the nitty gritty, we are going to start by reading one of her poems. And I'm really looking forward to that. What does that mean going forward? If you have a poem you want read, or if you know someone who has a poem that they want read, send it to me. If you look at my Instagram, the email is there, but I'll put the email here and I'll put more in the description. And when I'll make a short and I'll share that there too, and just share where to find the emails and all those things, man. So send those through. I love a good poem, and I would love to see the creative minds that are out there, and pay it forward, I guess, from one creative to the other. So I did have something else, but I'm gonna wait because I have to put something together before I talk about it. So that's all I got. So until next time. This is King Echo signing off.